She's so cute.
My baby's so cute.
I love her.
Night-night, baby. Peaceful sleep.
What the?
What?
I don't know, nothing.
Oh my God, a bat.
Shh, what? There's no bat, honey. She's fine.
Becky! Shh. But she's a bat.
She's not a bat. And even if she was, as long as she's sleeping, I don't care.
I'm gonna go check on her.
If you go in there now, she'll learn that anytime she metamorphosizes into a bat, we'll go in and get her.
Couldn't you say morphs into a bat?
If I wanted to sound like a low-class pervert. And anyway, it's best for her to learn how to self-soothe.
Even as a bat.
As a bat, a cat, a rat, a vat of bats, a mat of rats, a bowl of rabbits. I don't care, hon.
But shh.
But look.
Maybe she's a vegetarian bat?
Shh.
3-letter word for flying mammal. Bat. It's timely.
I was working in the lab late one night.
The sun is setting. It's spooky. A house appears in the distance. I'm in a car, alone, real spooky. There's no radio, and if there is a radio, all the songs give me the spooks. The car breaks down. I get out. My car rolls into a canyon I hadn't noticed before. Total spook show. I stand in front of the house. It's getting dark. The house stares at me like a ghostly building. It has 3 stories, and I assume a creepy basement or some scary shed in the back. I notice some movement in the 3rd floor window. I look, my eyes straining in the gloom. Nothing. When I look back down, the front door is open, and a man is standing there in an old gray suit. If you know anything, you know that this is some spooky shit, brother. He doesn't speak or move, and I just stand there. We stare at each other for a long time. I can feel the blood racing through my body. In the dark trees, a crow crows. Grah! Grah! He wears a red ribbon around his throat, and he holds an old wet sweater in his arms, and he is Paranormal Activity, and he has no reflection, and he is the Omen and the Exorcist, a top shelf poltergeist. His lips move, but it makes no sound, and then it does make a sound. "Here's Johnny," he says. "Good evening," he says. "It's alive," he says. "They're here," he says. "1, 2, Freddy's coming for you," he says. He sings the Michael Myers theme song. And then he says, "Oh, behave." As if prodded by the devil's pitchfork, I approach him. I extend my hand to him. His hand is cold as ice. It's red hot. He has no hands. He has a monkey's paw. He has claw. He has knives for fingers. He uses sign language to say, "I am Satan." Lightning crashes, and an old mother cries, and the crow does not crow. My car ran out of gas, I explain. Rain pours down my face. I could tell I look attractive because of pictures I've seen where I'm in the rain, desperate at the door, of some spooky house before. He reaches down to pick up a gas can that I could tell is filled with gas. I continue. The car fell down a mystery ravine.
Spooky, he says, putting the gas can back down. He leads me into the house, which is covered with cobwebs, bones, blood, demons, Latin words, creeping flesh, crucifixes, taxidermied animals, Nazi memorabilia, and portraits that move. We go into a small sitting room and sit on a sofa side by side. It's comfortable. I can feel him reading my mind. This sofa is from CB2, he says, Crate and Barrel's affordable modern home decor store. Affordable for who, I say? He laughs, and all of his bones shriek. He smells like death. Or maybe it's me. We're sitting so close it's hard to tell. I say, sorry about the smell. Oh, he says, I hadn't noticed. But I know he's being polite.
The sky outside is dark, and inside it's even darker. I hear a baby babbling in the attic scarily. 20 or 30 bats fly into the room and perch on the mantle, chirping creepily and, of course, spookily.
Am I alive or am I dead? I wonder.
My ghoulish host sighs a banshee sigh. He unties the ribbon around his throat.
His head falls off and rolls into the foyer, clanking against the gas can. I rush to him. I pick up the head. We are both weeping.
It's then that I feel a creepy and frightening hand grab my shoulder. I turn, and it is the headless body of the head I hold in my hands. My tears plopping into its own weeping eyes.
Spooky, it said. You know, it said, and I could tell that this would be the last words that he would say to me or anybody. Sometimes life can be real spooky.
I failed at my attempt to keep a daily journal of your life for the first year, so I figured I'd do a journal of the month where you turn 1. September 23rd. Tonight was the first night not sleeping in the same room. We're sleeping in the living room and you're in your room. I cried my eyes out. I won't get to hear the sounds you make, your breathing and clapping. You will wake up alone and in darkness, and I'll have to rush through our narrow apartment to get you. Your first words, I think, were turtle, umbrella, and apple. You also tell us you're done with something by making a motion like you're brushing dirt off your hands. September 24th. We saw about 30 dogs on a walk. You screamed for most of them, and they just walked by. You pooped twice. I love you so much, it's hard not to cry. September 27th. You bit me twice today on the shoulder. We slow danced to Sam Cooke's Don't Get Around Much Anymore and went to get a bouquet for Mom for our anniversary. On the way home, you threw off your hat, and I didn't notice for a block and a half, and we had to cross Metropolitan twice to get it. But I don't care, I love you. September 30th. I came back from a trip to Michigan. I didn't see you for 2 days, and when you saw me, you reached for me without hesitation. You hadn't forgotten me. October 1st. This morning, I asked where your nose was, and you stuck your finger into my nose and raked it out so hard that it bled. Later, we were at the swings, and the mother next to us was being very fun, and you liked her, and I thought about doing the noises she was doing, but was too bashful to do them. October 4th, we shared a plum. Then we stared at the feral cat who lives in the deck below us. You screamed and got so excited that you looked away and bit into my shoulder before looking back again. October 5th. Last night you and Mommy and I made farting sounds before you went to sleep. You were as good as an adult at making them, and I couldn't tell the difference between any of our farting sounds. October 6th. Yesterday on the subway, an older man came on to ask for money, and he saw you and he lost his train of thought. He kept smiling at you. I gave him some money and he thanked me, and then he thanked you and told you that you made his day. You make everyone happy. October 7th, a bunch of girls sat around you, clapping and squealing like they knew what I know, that you are a living jewel, the source of all joy and all life. We went to the swings. They fought over who got to carry you, so they carried you everywhere twice. There were people who crushed others to see the Beatles or to touch Jesus' robes. At the swing, we met Maya, as cute as you, but not you, so therefore not as cute as you. We met a boy named Gabriel who could not speak. He came to you and paid his respects. I saw his mother wearing his backpack. I wished for her and for me that you could heal them, that you would be to him as you are to me, a cure, divine magic, the mercy of existence. October 8th. Today I was at the computer, and Mom said you wanted to sit with me, so you were in my lap, and I was looking at Twitter feeling hopeless, and you got my attention and kissed me, and you and I laughed, and you kissed me again. We walked to the art store up Graham, and everyone smiled at you. I read to you, and now you can say boo, and we have a book where that makes sense, and you get so happy when you get to say your new word. It's like you're digging through rock, and a crack of light appears, and we are on the other side, digging too, and saying boo, boo. Today I wanted to see your teeth, so I opened my mouth wide, because you will do what you see someone doing. You looked at my mouth for a second, and then shoved your whole hand into my mouth as far as you could go. I laughed so hard, and you kept doing it, like you were the lion tamer, and I was the lion. October 14th. Today is the 1-year anniversary of your due date. We went to the park, and you played, but you were the youngest kid there, and the other kids went about their business. I told a man selling olive oil that I didn't want you to go to college to be far from me. He said his wife moved far away from her overbearing father, and that daughters are gold. I know, I said. He said, just wait until she's grown. His mother told him daughters are gold, and now he knows she is right. October 15th. Everything I see I think is cute reminds me of you. I was watching a baking show with Mom, and I saw a bowl of dough being mixed and thought of you, how you are like the dough getting mixed and prepared to be whatever you will be. You make me love even inanimate objects. The world is new, like they said, but in a way that they never said because no one would believe them. October 16th. A friend who was hurting came over today and told me his whole story. Though you cannot understand the words he said, you were kind and smiled and laughed and reached for him. Later at the back window, we called for the stray cats. Meow, meow. Then you pointed out the window, and your mom and I didn't know what you were looking at, and then we figured out it was the moon, and you crawled all over us saying, moon, 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 which is how I know you are my daughter, and you are not mine. I am yours. October 19th. Today I went out with you wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I don't think I've worn those things since I was 9. If this becomes a thing with me, you'll know where it started. October 25th. Tomorrow is the year anniversary of when your mom and I went to the hospital to have you. The day after will be your birthday. I've been trying to figure out a way to tie up these little entries. The phrase sacred days has been in my head all year. The hours laying on the floor, holding you, washing you, doing dishes. It feels sacred. Tonight we were stepping into the bath and I looked down and black fuzz floated off my feet. I guess I had worn new socks, and now the new sock fuzzies were in the bath with us. I thought about draining the tub and then refilling it, but I thought it would have taken too much time, so we sat down. Maybe I could make it seem like we were taking a bath in an inverse night sky, the white water and the black stars, but it wasn't nice. It was weird to have all these cotton floaties. You didn't mind at all. I also wrote a poem for your mom to give her tomorrow. I wrote it last night, and it makes me cry every time I read it, so I think it's a good poem. It ends like this. We are three bodies, falling through time with such speed that it feels like we are floating. It's a good poem, right? How much do you think this pumpkin cost?
I would pay like $5 for it.
Okay. We paid less.
Oh.
I am here with a dear friend, Sarah Nowak.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, I've got some things. I've got some notes. It's always a treat to be with Sarah Nowak. She's the boost. Pumpkin and chills. There's more. There's a lot. Mummy dearest.
No.
I know. Something wickedly funny this way comes. Ghost likely to succeed.
How dare you?
Sarah Nowak as a skeleton. All her bones are funny.
I like that. That's very cute.
What's scary? What's scary to you?
Okay, so I really like scary movies a lot, and I really like satanic movies. I like movies about Satan because when you're raised religious, you are afraid of the devil real hard.
Do you believe in real life spirits and ghosts?
I think it's really fun to think about. I think it's healthy to like know that you don't know everything.
I think that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
I haven't done this in a really long time.
Me neither. I bet it's been at least 10 years since I've carved a pumpkin.
You know what's so funny is like people talk about when you're afraid of something, and this is like what my brother does for his daughter. Like when she was afraid of something, he'd be like, if that's spooky music, pretend it's your music. And so when he would hear spooky music, she would walk around and pretend that it was her music, that she was being the spook.
I do want it to send a message to people similar to what your brother said. You know, like you can be spooky, or there's a beautiful power in not necessarily dissent, but in being spooky.
Okay.
The value of the spooks.
I like her little mouth.
Oh my God.
It's crooked and cute.
It's so cute.
Oh my God.
This is like someone, if you're playing Zelda, you meet. She's like, I can help you with that.
Shall we spin?
Should we turn off lights? Is that gonna? 1, 2, 3. I've had such a nice time with Sarah Nowak. And you can too. She performs weekly at a place called the People's Improv Theater.
If you Google image search me, there's like a very nice lady who comes up first.
And she's a ghost?
And she's a Playboy playmate. That's not me.
Oh.
We're different people. So, but don't do it at work. But but she seems nice. So
Does she do improv?
She's German. She might though.
It's getting dark, friends. The sun is setting. If you're scared, take the power of your fear and own it. And if you're not scared, you probably should be. What's that? Blood. Okay, yeah.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Would you look at these jacked up teeth? This is who I get for a vampire husband? These teeth are a huge disappointment.
As a vampire, I can read your thoughts.
I don't like your teeth.
Neither do I.
But I love you. Don't even think about it until the dishes are done.
Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
It's now the mash,
It's now the Monster Mash.
the monster mash.
And it's a graveyard smash.
It's now the mash,
It's caught on in a flash.
it's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash.
You know, we've had a lot of fun this month with monsters and vampires and spooks. But I feel like I need to tell you about a time that I really met a monster face to face. I was in Michigan, and it was cold and windy, and the wind was howling off of Lake Huron, and all the streets were empty, and I was in an old machine shop that had been turned into a bar. And I was talking to a woman who said that she was a nurse, and I said, all the best people I know are nurses. And later I was mentioning to her friend that I had talked to her, and she said, oh, she voted for Donald Trump. And my blood ran cold. And the scary part of the story is that for the rest of the night, I was very nice to this woman. I wanted to show that a liberal person from New York could be really nice when they met a monster. And she said, in defense of her decision, she's like, well, at least I have more money now. And I should have said, oh, is that the price that it takes to buy you so that children can be separated from their mothers and drugged and kept in cages, or that marginalized people can be villainized, or that the environment can be destroyed, or that hate can be celebrated, or that the Nazis can be resurrected? Is that your price? But I didn't say anything. And so now I'm kind of like a ghost trying to right my wrongs. So I met a monster, and she was white. I'm not saying everyone who's white is a monster, but that is the color of death and of other ghosts. And we know how to deal with monsters. You cut their head off, you drive a stake through their heart, you burn them. It does feel like the world is getting spooky. And it's okay if you get spooky back. Just